Presents partner with Cancel This Show with myself, Vic Faust, and my co-host,
Megan Marie. We're ranked in the top 10% globally.
Our show has reached over 1.68 million engaged listeners, and we continue to grow monthly.
Podcasting is one of the best ways to advertise
because it offers a highly engaged audience, SEO-targeted reach,
and the ability to build a personal connection with listeners.
Dive into the dynamic world of cancel culture, politics, all current events, and the latest news with us.
It's the American taxpayers that are having to pay for all of this monkey business left and right.
Look at all of these pictures. They are using AI to generate fake photos, and we show you them. And Joe will show, we got a video of one, we've got certain pictures.
They were hiding the fact and trying to lie to the American people for months that Joe Biden was doing well.
This is Kamala. This is Joe Biden. It's Barack Obama. It's Jake Sullivan, all together doing anything and everything they can to strike back at Donald Trump because he continues to kick their ass.
If that doesn't make you mad enough to vote one way or another in this election, nothing will do it.
Get your company's voice heard, your brand recognized,
and the exposure you deserve.
Does your brand align with our mission?
Let's talk and make an impact together. Hey guys, welcome into Cancel This. I'm Vic Faust, Megan Marie Retz alongside Pro Joe, running the boards, taking care of business over there. It is Tuesday. It is October 15th. Glad you're with us. You know what we do here? News headlines, what's going on in the world, the water cooler talk, everything with the 2024 election. Facts, not fiction. Facts, not feelings. We bring it, and you guys bring it strong as well. Of course, you can watch us live on Facebook, on X, on Rumble. You can also watch us on YouTube. And of course, you can catch us and our daily content on Instagram and TikTok as well. We appreciate when you guys jump in. By the way, thanks for the updates and the ideas for story ideas. Also, we're just grateful for when you guys want to be a part of our show and do anything that you can. We're grateful when you can also try to jump in and help us out. Got a small little donation from Tanya Carnell yesterday, so we appreciate
Wonderful.
Tanya.
Thanks, Tanya.
We say anything helps. We mean it. Anything. So thank you, Tanya. We appreciate it. Tanya's like, I love what you guys do. She's like, I'm on a fixed income, but I want to at least let you know I'm thinking about you. So we appreciate that greatly, greatly, because we love what we do, and it costs a lot of money to do what we do. And a lot of advertisers want you to sell products, and it would take a long time, and we're already down to an hour. So we do what we do, and we're here trying to make sure you guys understand everything that's going on. So thanks again for story ideas. And of course, we're going to continue to bring it strong as we possibly can. Coming up on the show today at about 9:40, Tanner Dallas is going to join us. He's got a financial planning company, Opulence Planning Group. We're going to talk about what's happening with investing, what's actually happening with our economy and inflation, and the truth about what's happened with this economy when it comes to, quote, Joe Biden. By the way, he still is president. I mean, he's nowhere to be found. Literally, no. Once again, I told you would see things you have never seen in the history of our country, and you're seeing it right now. He quit the presidency, by the way. He quit. Kamala doesn't want the job. She says she does. Nobody's doing the job of president right now. Nobody. Mm-mm. And that's why things are going bad. We'll talk about that situation. Kamala Harris is going to do a sit-down interview with Fox News. She still refuses to do a press conference, but she's going to sit down with a guy who I just don't trust. I don't trust Brett Baier. I'm sorry, I don't. And I've got my reasons. We'll talk about that. I love the fact that now you have strong, educated black men who are saying, you know what, screw all you people who say because we're black, we have to vote with Kamala, who's an ignorant fool, the worst candidate in the history of this country for president. And they are coming out in droves, making videos, talking about how there's no way in hell they would ever vote for an incapable candidate like Kamala Harris. And shame on the people that try to race bait them when it comes to that. Most of them are white. Some are black. but it's sad. Also, how ISIS and M13 gang members now in school with you. Oh, yeah, that's right. They're in with your kids. And that's because it's another byproduct of Biden-Harris border. The borders are slept on the job. She didn't do her job. And now she's saying, oh, yeah, I did. All those things going on. Also, what we start with today, and we'll get it to in a second, Bill Clinton. It's so bad. The Democrats are so bad. And I'm not trying to be mean. They're fools. Barack Obama came out ripping black men. He doesn't have the power that he used to. Now, he may be selecting things behind the scene, but black people are waking up. That's why they love Trump so much now and can't stand Barack Obama. And that's why they're coming out. You would never have ever seen the black community making videos challenging Barack Obama. He's lost his power, and it drives him crazy because actors need an audience. When the audience starts to go against you, you lose your mind. Barack Obama's losing his mind. He is, and he's ruining the legacy within the Democratic Party that he did have. The rest of us know what kind of legacy he really had. And of course, him lying about his personal preferences. Now, they brought out Bill Clinton. That's how desperate they are. And Bill Clinton is an absolute nightmare right now. He literally made a lot of the Democrats have been making ads for Donald Trump. You know, Tim Walz came out, Megan, and said, we can't have 4 more years of this. And of course, the Trump campaign made an ad out of it.
She's made an ad for him as well. Yeah, they just can't help themselves.
And then Bill Clinton here. You got to check out this sound with Bill Clinton. This Bill Clinton sound. Bill is out trying to, quote, campaign, trying to rip. First of all, he's lying. He lied about Donald Trump saying that he killed a bill. He never killed a bill because the bill was just a few years ago, way before Bill was even talking about where they were trying to get something done. Bill literally says, listen to this.
You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up, so we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work, there wouldn't be a problem. And he couldn't keep people all torn up and upset.
So now you hear Bill Clinton ripping the Biden-Harris administration, saying if they would have done their jobs and vetted the illegals, chances are Laken Riley would not have been murdered in the horrible way that she was murdered. Holy shit. And it's all over the news headlines. Democrats want to suppress it because Bill Clinton. First of all, he looks really bad. And he sounds really, really, really bad. And the worst part about it is he's going to meet his maker probably sooner rather than later to answer for the things that he's done in his life. Wow. He literally just told you what Donald Trump has been telling everybody for many years about us needing a border wall. We had to get serious about the border. And Laken Riley would not be dead today if it wasn't for Biden, Harris, and their policies. I could not believe what I was watching him say.
Well, and the thing is, during his Visiting Angels ad that he just just delivered us, he talks about and he's and the one thing that was not true about what he just said was that we need these immigrants to come in to do just basic things in our country, construction, for instance, housing, for instance. We don't need them. What we need to happen is for our economy to stabilize and for us to be able to pay Americans to do these jobs. So, you've got 7 million men and women that are not in the workforce right now because of the reason that they're paying these people pennies. They're paying these people under the table. They're illegals, they're undocumented, and they're literally, what are you going to do? If you own a construction company, are you going to pay, someone that's here illegally, a quarter of what you're going to pay an American guy to do the same work? Of course you are, if that's the kind of person that you are. I know many business owners, my dad being one, for years, he absolutely refused to hire anyone that did not have the proper papers. He just wouldn't do it. He's, American. He wanted to hire Americans, and he was willing to pay Americans to do these jobs. So It's not true when they say that we have to, and right now I'm hearing so many people repeat this over and over. We have to have these illegals come in to do the work. And that's what Donald Trump has been saying. And he's not saying it to be racist. He's not saying it to the Black and brown communities that the illegals are taking your jobs because you can't do any better. But what he's saying is true. And he's taking they're taking white jobs as well.
Yeah, but that's not what Clinton was saying. I think Clinton was saying we needed legals. They need
Exactly.
and you know what? I'm not against this. I am against anybody that wants to come into this country under a legal format where we have an opportunity to properly vet, because it's a whole nother opportunity, Megan, and people who are listening and watching our show, no matter when you're doing it. Our population is dwindling and our kids are. We're dwindling because we're not having as many babies. And if you want to have another conversation about what the Muslim world is doing when it comes, it's going to take a whole nother generation just to catch up with the amount of population that's there. Because we got into this whole philosophy of we only need to have one or two, and things are expensive. We need to have these things in life, and we'll have one baby or two babies and then cut it off. I'm telling you, we have a population issue. We do. Whether people want to admit it or not, I'll debate anybody and everybody. We'll show up. You bring your facts and I'll bring my facts. I agree with Bill Clinton. I'm assuming he's saying people coming in legally.
Right, but we don't even need them, is what I'm saying.
Well, there's a debate with that. There is a debate because I do know businesses who can't find people to do their work, Megan.
Well,
I know
because they're not willing to pay.
I know two roofing companies who would offer, including my uncle who sold his business 2 years ago, who could offer $100,000 full benefits, ownership into the company, and he couldn't find anybody to do the work because he said there were too many damn pussies in the world that didn't want to work hard. Okay, that's a fact. And guess what? I've talked to more companies, labor jobs. They don't want to do them. People don't want to do it. They don't want to make $100,000 a year because they're pussies. They don't want to effing go up there and do the hard work. That's a fact coming from a multi-million-dollar business owner that said, I could be running 3 more crews, but I can't find legal Americans to do the job because they've gotten soft.
For $100,000, I'd be willing to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, though, that is a fact. He owned Shea Roofing Company throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area, multi-million-dollar business owner who said he could not find enough Americans to do the job.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, these are facts. These aren't my opinions. I do my best to talk in facts. So we can debate and figure out. And then there's different businesses that say we don't need anything and it's fine. But then the problem that Megan's saying is now we have illegals here taking jobs and are willing to work for nothing to take the jobs that others would be willing to take.
Yeah. And I have no problem as long as they do, the proper vetting and, they're not criminals and they haven't gotten out of their, crazy house from whatever country they come from. I have no problem with them coming here and going through the process. Of course. I mean, all of us have come from, our background, our parents, our grandparents, great grandparents. Nobody was just here. And so I have no problem with that. But in the meantime, like he said, we have to properly vet these people. And I love the point that he made about, some of these illegal immigrants coming in and really creating a lot of problems for us. Like he said, raping people, killing people, just to name a few. And that just should not happen because we have enough of that in our own American community.
In my humble opinion, this is the side story. The main story to me, and I know everybody takes things that are different. It doesn't mean we're right or wrong, but for me, he just said and called out Biden and Harris. He called them out. He literally just had a campaign ad, another one for Donald Trump and the border. You want to know why Donald Trump is crushing in this election right now? And if you look at Rasmussen, who just came out again yesterday and said, this is now the biggest lead Donald Trump has extended, over 7-point lead now. Rasmussen, down the middle polling, not those TV polling, not the hardcore left polling, not even real clear politics, who I think is more conservative leaning. Not even Polymarket, which is just the betting community, but Rasmussen. Now said Donald Trump has opened up the biggest lead that he's had, and it's because the Democrats can't get out of their own way. The more Kamala talks, the worse she does. The more Tim Walz talks, the worse that they do. And on the heels of everything that is going on right now, Kamala Harris is going to do an interview with Fox News tomorrow night with Brett Baier. And yes, I'll watch it. I'm going to watch this. Got to watch it. I don't trust Brett Baier. I don't trust that she hasn't gotten the
Mhm.
questions in advance. I don't trust Fox News all the time. I do trust most of Fox. Even somebody said earlier, I don't trust Brian Kilmeade. I do trust Brian Kilmeade. I don't trust Brett Baier.
Mhm. I
There,
agree.
he is the one. He is the only. If you ask me, Vic, who is the one person, one male you would not trust at Fox News for Kamala Harris to do an interview with? Guess who I would have said?
Yep.
I would have said
100%.
Brett Baier. Brett Baier.
Absolutely.
Brett freaking Baier. And who's doing the interview? Brett Baier.
Yep.
So
Well, she wouldn't have agreed to do it with anybody else but Brett Baier.
Susan
There's no
says Brett
way.
Baier is leaning so left that I'm disappointed in him.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. He's some days you'll hear him though, and he'll be making some really great points, and you're like, oh, okay, he's not a closet Democrat, like you'll hear him make some really great points. But I think that the reason that they are going to have him do the interview is because not even about what he says. It's not even the content about what he says, but it's how he does it. I do respect him a lot in the way that he is able to be completely non-emotional. That guy, you've got Kilmeade, Gutfeld, these guys, they get up there and they are super emotional and they're passionate and they say what's on their mind. They have no problem calling people out. Brett is really, really measured. He's calm. There's no emotion. So hopefully, maybe we'll be surprised and he'll press her and really,
if he
keep
doesn't,
asking her to get some clear cut answers.
If he doesn't, he will lose a ton of respect, especially with her finally doing an interview with somebody that's not the Daddy podcast or
a legit
Charlemagne. She's doing a Charlemagne the God today, who's kind of ripped her. These kinds of interviews. So I don't really know what to expect. I don't. I have no idea. I have to think that it's going to be an honest, legit, straightforward interview, but she doesn't give direct answers. So we already know that she has not given direct answers. So if you're interviewing somebody that won't give direct answers, that means you have to follow up. The problem is that when you're chasing somebody down during an interview, time starts to elapse. And then they take a long time answering questions. And then before you know, you've asked one question and it's already been 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I've done this my entire life doing interviews with people that it's very, very easy to see who's trying to elude you immediately.
Yeah.
So, is she doing this out of desperation or not, Jay? I don't know. Maybe she's getting crushed right now because she's been non-existent. JD Vance, Donald Trump, all over the place by 2-to-1 margin of interviews because they've got nothing to hide. Nothing whatsoever to hide. She does.
Yeah.
And Tim Walz has been a disaster. Tim Walz has killed her. What we said it was one of the worst decisions they could have gotten for a VP. We were happy around here. He has killed her. He has not helped her. He has hurt her. And then she needed somebody to really help her. Of course, Josh Shapiro would have been the best candidate, but Josh Shapiro isn't as far left-leaning progressive liberal as Tim Walz was. And he's not gay.
Yeah.
And we know that the person making that decision is gay and wanted a gay man.
Yeah.
And you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress. It's easy to connect the dots if you really want to connect the dots.
I can't even take Tim Walz serious. I really can't. There's nothing about him. Yeah, spirit hands, spirit fingers.
And then, of course, he flipped off the Michigan people who said Trump 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is just a disaster.
He's not even welcome in so many places in his own hometown. People just don't have respect for the guy. And how can you? He not only are his policies have just been completely off the wall and good for absolutely no one. He right now cannot tell the truth to save his life. Neither can Kamala Harris. So that would be the reason that I would say that they are a perfect pair, because the both of them can lie like it's, like they're taking a drink of water. I mean, it's just no big deal. And people are okay with that. And I think that that's what bothers me the most about the left is that, some of them know that they're lying and they don't care. They really don't care. I mean, I can tell you right now that if President Trump was up there and, he was talking and he was telling us, that the sky was, purple and it was, a beautiful blue day out, I mean, we'd call him out on it. I mean, we would not be like, that's normal. Like, that's okay. People would be calling him out, you know?
I just can't wait to see what's going to happen with that interview. We'll see. I mean, the other big problems that she has is the fact that she is not doing well in the polling now. She does not have a lot of momentum. And now it almost feels as if we got to put the press on right now because Donald Trump is crushing us. Obviously, that's why we talked about this yesterday. We talked Barack Obama. Let's bring him out. Let's bring out Bill Clinton. They are not helping her, which is, it's awesome. It's awesome for me because I'm like, the last thing we need is Team Democrats to try to go help a person who can't get across the finish line herself when you have Donald Trump on the other side who is leading everybody else and carrying everybody else across the finish line. Once again, it's about taking America back. I'm Vic Faust. Megan Marie Moret here, Projo in the house as well. We appreciate you joining us for Cancel This. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 9 to 10 o'clock Central Time. So Bill Clinton did what he did. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for telling the world that Laken Riley would still be alive if the Biden-Harris ticket actually vetted and Harris did the job that she was supposed to as borders are and properly vetted. Bill Clinton told everybody she would still probably be alive.
Why do you think he did that, Vic? Do you think,
know.
I mean,
either he has lost his mind or he truly believes it, as we heard with Biden. When you get old, you start telling truth. And you don't know what you might be saying, but as bad as Clinton was, it wasn't horrible. He wasn't horrible. Our economy wasn't horrible. He sees what happened with Obama started us down the road, and then Biden got us totally lost, and Kamala's even worse because she has no experience. She's uneducated, and she's not qualified. She got passed along, as we know, because of what she was doing. I don't know.
Because, you've got
but I certainly don't want to try to
Biden.
get in Bill Clinton's mind.
Yeah, Joe Biden, he's starting to kind of, like you said, it might just be that he's just like leaking the truth because he's getting old and senile. But you're going to start seeing more of this. And we are starting to see more of this. We're seeing people that you would think would be, backing them 110%, starting to just kind of put some jabs in. And it's like, but you know what? It's too late. And, Bill Clinton's wife was one of the biggest supporters of having Kamala Harris be the next, person to run. So I don't know. And like you said, I'm not going to sit here and try to get into the mind of people like, Bill Clinton. But I think it's really super interesting that we're starting to see people that are supposed to have their backs and not have their backs at all.
Kamala yesterday was in North Carolina talking about, quote, black issues and talking about the black vote because it's becoming a big story now. Why do so many African Americans love Trump? Well, this is what she was saying during her interview with Roland yesterday in North Carolina, and it just wasn't a good scene for her. And then we're going to show you many and all of these communities and black men who are standing up now saying, you know what? Screw all you people who tell us we have to vote for somebody because of the color of their skin. Listen to this from yesterday in her Black Agenda in North Carolina.
There's this whole, I talked with somebody once who said, if you just look at where the stars are in the sky.
The stars in the sky.
Don't look at them as just random things. If you just look at them as points, look at the constellation. What does it show you?
Oh, boy.
So you just outlined it, Roland. What does it show you?
What the hell are you talking about?
I think she's on drugs.
I was going to say, smoke another one, sis. She is just off her rocker.
Well, there's a betting market now. Is she doing crack cocaine? Is she doing cannabis? Or is she just an alcoholic? Because how many times have we seen her? This is why the Democrats, this is why Obama doesn't want her out in public.
That's pills. She's taking pills.
That is, she's just dumb, guys. I know
she's dumb,
smart.
but after multiple tries, she did pass the bar. But she can't talk anymore.
I mean, did you
can
see
we
her
play it,
talking
Joe? Did you
about
delete
stars?
it yet? She's talking about they're trying to have a conversation about black issues, and she starts talking about the stars and constellations, and it makes me think about her explaining the cloud and what the cloud was. Listen to Listen to this.
There's this whole, I talked with somebody once who said, if
She
you
rubs
just
her nose.
look at where the stars are in the sky, don't look at them as just random things. If you just look at them as points, look at the constellation. What does it show you?
Look at him.
So you just outlined it, Roland. What does it show you?
Look, Roland, you just outlined it. The points. They're not just random things to look at in the sky. They are points.
In the sky.
And you look up and you pretend that you have a marker and you do dot to dot to dot, and then you make your salad, and then you really get it mixed up, and look what you've got, Roland. Look, it's a beautiful
nutty word salad
in the sky made of points, constellations. Wouldn't you give $1 million to hear what these people say after she leaves? I mean, they are probably just like, this lady is complete whack. I mean, she just...
Logan says she's as high as I am, and I'm 20 feet in the air right now in a deer stand.
Oh, goodness.
What will she say today, of course, with Charlemagne the God? Robert says, what a fool. Karen says, I did notice that she rubs her nose more and more often now. People, this is... And then you've got Barack Obama out telling black men that they can't vote for Trump and they need to vote for that. How stupid is Barack Obama? Seriously. How arrogant is Barack Obama? How evil is Barack Obama to tell black people you have to vote for somebody because of the color of their skin? I love the fact that black men are now saying, you know what? They're standing up because they've woken up. And there's nothing better than this, because now you have the most popular Republican president in the history of modern times when it comes to African Americans. Thank God times are changing. And sometimes it takes a generation or two. But listen to men break this down. This interview, and I normally don't show other people on our podcast talking because we can give opinions, but we're not black. No, we're going to do the other one first, Joe. But we're not black. And I love to hear black people talk about black issues against black. Well, most of these people say that Barack Obama isn't black, but they put things in perspective. And this guy does as well, because this woman who acts in a very evil way and uneducated way, Sunny Huston, listen to what she says. I mean, she rips black men. And then this man kind of puts all the perspectives into place.
We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men that did vote for Trump.
So let me get this straight. If I vote for a party that can't define what a woman is, I'm no longer ridiculous or crazy. If I vote for a party that wants boys in my daughter's sports and restrooms, I'm no longer ridiculous or crazy. If I vote for a party that thinks they can pander to me using kente cloths and hot sauce, I'm no longer crazy. If I vote for a party that has done nothing but destroy my community for the last 60 years and open the borders in order to replace my vote and destroy my community further, I'm no longer crazy. If I vote for the party that wanted to keep me from voting, wanted to keep Jim Crow, wanted to keep slavery, the party of the Klan, I'm no longer crazy. And I'm no longer crazy or ridiculous if I vote for the candidate who's been in the office as vice president for the last 3.5 years and admitted to having a large part in pushing the harmful policies that have hurt my country, who can't answer basic questions and is quite possibly the worst candidate in American history, says she's going to bring change while at the same time admitting there's nothing she'd change about the last 3.5 years, and made us the laughing stock of the world. And you think I'm the crazy one. I think it's crazy you think I should vote for a candidate based on skin color rather than how their policies will affect my life. It's pretty sick.
We've got to reach.
I mean, is that so true and powerful?
Wow.
I just love that. And I mean, he nailed everything right on the head. Every single thing that he said was so true. And I love what he said in the beginning, just about like, if he believes that, that it's okay for his daughter to play sports with boys and for boys and girls to be in the same restrooms or whatever, that then he's voting for the right party. I mean, these people, have brains, and to assume that just because they're part of the black community that they don't know right from wrong, it's really, it's gross.
Well, here are 3 other men talking about how they refuse to listen to Barack Obama, Sunny Hostin, and Democrats who say you have to vote for somebody because of the color of their skin, not the content of their character.
Sorry, Obama, I'm a black man and I'm voting for Donald Trump for president, and there is no amount of lecturing or bullying or shaming that you can do that is going to make me change that decision. I am not afraid to vote for Kamala Harris because she is a woman. I refuse to vote for Kamala Harris because she has spent the last 4 years destroying this country. She has spent the last 4 years throwing up the borders to illegal immigrants. She has spent the last 4 years destroying this economy. We have seen over the past couple of months that she is not fit to be president. She can barely speak. She can't articulate a vision. And actually, she's pretty stupid. And if you think that I, as a black man, am going to let that waltz into the White House, that is going to get my vote because you're lecturing me and you're bullying me, and you may be the surrogate black dad for a lot of fatherless black boys that are running around this country, but I got a dad, I know who he is, and it ain't you. I'm voting for Donald Trump for president. Take it or leave it. Sorry, Obama.
Woo!
Hello, America, and hello, Georgia. I'm Vernon Jones, former state representative from the great state of Georgia, and I'm out doing my normal morning jog. By the way, it's a great day to be in Georgia. It's a beautiful fall day. But anyhow, I just had to pause for the cause. I, like many of you, observed and listened and watched Barack Obama last night as he addressed black men. But as a black man, he did everything but address us. What he did, he berated black men, he rebuked black men, he even scolded black men, primarily because we will not fall in line and vote for Madam Lock Up Her Brother, Kamala Harris, because that's her record. As if black men are too stupid that we can't vote our self-interest, what's best for us, our pocketbook, our families. As if we've been immune to the past 3.5 years, as if we don't know that gas prices have been higher under Kamala Harris, food prices higher under Kamala Harris, interest rates on home mortgages higher under Kamala Harris, and runaway borders under Kamala Harris. But you know what? That's what the liberal white Democratic Party did. They dispatched Barack Obama out there to whip black men back on the plantation to vote Democrat. And you know, President Obama, he meant a lot to black people, but he didn't do anything for black people. And for him to want to come down from his mansion in Martha's Vineyard and tell black men how we should vote, really? You don't even live in Chicago anymore. You left your black community, Barack Obama, and you want to tell us how to vote? We're not having that, and we're not voting for Kamala Harris.
Boom. Okay, we're good there. You see, and the third guy talks the same thing. This should give you hope. It should give you hope that there are intelligent people who saw and have seen what the Democrats have done to the black communities for generations. Not Republicans, Democrats.
Absolutely. Gosh, it's so awesome when you hear these people talk like this. And it's just like, you know, thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you so much for not believing what the left has been telling you for years, and for not, you know, actually thinking that they're going to actually come through and deliver on any of their promises. Thank you for caring about our economy and all of the American people. You know, if everybody could just pay attention like these guys, like these intelligent people, we'd be in a much better situation. And, you know, hopefully more people that hear these people talk and come out and say, hey, you know what? I'm a black man and this is what's going on. Don't believe the hype. You know, it would be awesome if it could just spread like wildfire and put people, ignorant people like Barack Obama in their place.
You know
and
what,
Kamala.
You know what I love?
Kamala.
I looked down and there's a Democrat on the line who used to say, how much you want to bet he doesn't get 5%. Then it went up to how much you want to bet he doesn't get 10%. Now I see how much you want to bet he doesn't get 15%. Yeah. You know why? Because Donald Trump is kicking their ass. They keep changing the finish line because they know they are losing. Kamala is losing. And it's amazing that Donald Trump, this guy they hate so much, is now the most popular Republican pick for president within the African-American community that we have ever seen. There's a reason for it, because they don't think Kamala is the answer. They know who the answer is because they're intelligent. They are intelligent. And we're grateful. And we just pass along facts. And we're not getting caught up in all the other crap that's going on with this country, because damn, we have lived a life that we hate. And we've just talked, I mean, the border issues, I mean, those things, I mean, we're getting ready to talk financial situation with Tanner Dallas. I mean, Megan, you've seen it. I mean, now you brought up a story, whether we're able to show the video or not because of time. Loudoun, Virginia, just from the end of last week, parents now going after their school boards because of the situations that the Obama started it. Biden Harris now with M13 gang members and ISIS school members.
Yeah.
They're in the schools with their kids?
They're in the schools, and in not just the gang members' children, the actual gang members themselves, these they're teenagers. And these parents, as you can imagine, are absolutely irate, and they're going to their school board and they're like, are you kidding me? Why? And I think that the most infuriating part of it is that the school board doesn't want to listen to these parents. They want to silence these parents. They don't want to give them the opportunity to come in and go, I have a problem with my kid sitting next to a gang member that's here illegally. His parents are here illegally, and the only reason that they're here is because they're wanted in their own country. These are big time gang members, and that now they're infiltrating our schools. And the American parents don't have a right, they're acting like, to come forward and, express their concerns. But this is the country that we're living in. So not only are these gangs taking over, apartment buildings and communities, now they're in the schools. So you cannot, just when we thought that
everything starts small.
Yeah.
It does. And you're like, oh, it's no big deal. Just like Martha Raddatz on ABC. Well, we're talking about a handful of apartment complexes that have been taken over by Venezuelan gangs. It's not a lot. As if it's fine. As if one was fine. It's like, hello, we understand that you're a hardcore progressive liberal left Democratic broadcaster, but still, as if Americans, what it is, once again, if you change a perspective, you try to get people to change their morals, change their values just a little bit. And then that slippery slope effect that takes place that I talk about so often, then you keep going down the slippery slope. And then 5 years later, you're like, wait a second, how did we even get to this place? Well, you didn't think it was a bad deal. It wasn't so bad when one Venezuelan gang took over an apartment complex. Oh, now you have a state that has gone full that way. And before you know it, it gets worse and it gets more difficult to stop.
Right. And these kids are coming to school with weapons. That's what started this whole thing. So time after time after time, these kids are getting in trouble. There's one kid that was arrested last year in 2023 for bringing an assault rifle to school, and he's back. And he's back in the school.
And illegal, or is it one of these M13 gang members? Okay.
Yes. So, as you can imagine, these parents, they should be. I mean, last year we were worried about, gender neutral bathrooms, and if the girls are going to go in the boys' room and the boys and the girls, that's child's play. Now we have gang members that are packing and coming to school and sitting next to your child in school. And it's just unacceptable. We shouldn't even be having these kinds of conversations.
Matthew, I agree with you. Can we get a round of applause for J.D. Vance again? Because he slayed one of the most annoying reporters ever, talking about Martha Raddatz on ABC News over the weekend. He really did. Every time J.D. Vance speaks, it's intelligence, and he crushes. It's amazing the kind of candidate he is for vice president compared to...
Yes. You guys, I'm liking him more and more
how could you
every
not?
day.
The guy's amazing.
He is.
And he's also talking about, and he reminds people, he tries to get back to economy. Once again, continue to look at the most important issues for Americans. Economy's still there. Economy's still number one. And it's been that way every year. And what aren't the Democrats? They're not talking about the financial aspect of what's going on. They're not talking about inflation. They're not talking about the market. And if they are, they're trying to promote it in a positive sense. And it's just not true. And that's why we bring on financially intelligent people like Tanner Dallas. And we enjoy when Tanner comes into the show from the Opulence Planning Group. Tanner, thanks for taking time to join us on Cancel This morning as we talk finances, we talk inflation, we talk about the market. I mean, you keep track of this. You see what the candidates are saying. What's your opinion on where we are right now and what the candidates are talking about the market?
Let me first start out by this. You guys were talking about J.D. Vance.
Mm-hmm.
He is culturally a great fit, in my opinion, because number one, he's trying to instill American values again and familial values. Mm-hmm. No more of this crazy, just far left extremes of we don't need to have families, we don't need to have kids, we don't need religion, anything like that. I am a huge fan of J.D. Vance, and especially the policies he wants to enact. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, regarding the markets, people need to learn to disseminate between the economy as in terms of GDP, the economy in terms of the stock market, and the local consumer economy. because everybody looks at the stock market, and the Biden administration gloats and touts, and Kamala as well, that the stock market's at all-time highs. It's doing phenomenal. But we forget that the stock market capitalization rate in 2019 was 33 trillion. During COVID, we dumped in over 5 trillion. 5 trillion of stimulus. So let's play the math there. That's about 15 to 16%. Now, the total market cap rate is about 45 trillion. Let's rewind also and consider the fact that GDP in 2019 was 21 trillion. In 2023 trended to 26 trillion. So think about that. It's almost 25% of stimulus we dumped in the economy during COVID as a percentage of GDP. We forget about all those things. And I think what's forgotten about that is local consumers are hurting. Small families are hurting. Small family businesses are hurting. All of these small family restaurants are hurting. They're having tons of trouble. Yeah. You're seeing closures all over the place. Just small businesses in general. They're discounting items. They're fighting to stay alive. And a lot of that has to do with inflation. It also has to do with the amount of money we keep dumping into the economy. So with that being said, we need to get a grip on inflation. We also need to get a grip on putting Americans back to work, not only back to work, but also being able to commit to a retirement fund, being able to provide for their families, being able to have time with their kids. And that's something that we've been missing out on, because no matter what anybody says, the stock market, yes, it's at all-time highs, but if we don't have money to contribute to it, it's irrelevant. Mm-hmm. If we don't have consumers that are able to spend money, it's irrelevant, because all that money that got dumped in during COVID, all was spent. Mm-hmm. It went to consumers and they spent. Inflation was still low when Trump was in presidency, so people were still living good. They had good wages. But the thing we all forget about is the fact that we have inflation in 2022 that was around 9%. Mm-hmm. So how much was the economy really growing when inflation was at record highs? Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I think that's the most important part of this presidency, and who comes in next is how can we control government spending? How can we lower inflation? And how can we get back on track? And regulation plays a big role as well. We do not want tons of regulation, because regulation stifles innovation. Yeah. And innovation is what is going to get our country out of somewhat of a debt crisis we're in. And then also be able to, yes, burn coal, burn oil. We want to do those things. But maybe we could find some type of nuclear fusion that is the world's best optimization of energy. But with all these regulations, timelines to be able to get things to market, it stifles innovation. It makes companies want to leave the US, and it heightens the cost of goods. Mm-hmm. Because 60 years ago, you were in a factory, you cut your finger off, they made a new rule for it. Then 6 years later, they make another rule. And now we've got all these compliance officers. We have all these different things checking and making sure things are done to a T and as safe as possible, that we've essentially removed responsibility from citizens. The responsibility to choose. And the government is not there to choose for you. And I think that is the biggest thing that we need to understand and wake up to, that you need to have personal responsibility. The government does not need to choose what you do for you. And I think that's the biggest thing.
So you mentioned that we are just dumping money into the economy. So will you elaborate on that? Because, I think a lot of us feel right now that, our economy is suffering. So what is happening to this money that they are dumping into the economy? And why wouldn't that make us prosper?
The government's golden rule has always been to print money. Mm-hmm. And the Fed's rule always has been to raise rates until things break and then lower them to create more stimulus. Mm-hmm. Just look at all the bills that are passed. Look at the debt we have. We live in a world where we continually the motto is, let's roll it back again. Think about high schools. High schools used to be 50 years. When you guys went to high school, you didn't have the greatest turf fields. You didn't have all these things. But we continue to push bills to add more money to what we spend from the government. Local, state, federal, it's always there. And the federal is the worst because they can turn on the money printer. So we outspend what we take in. Mm-hmm. And that is not that's a concern.
Right.
Talking with Tanner Dallas from the Opulence Planning Group. I'm curious, when you're traveling around and talking with people, what are you hearing from people when it comes to the economy? What are you hearing from people when it comes to investing? What are you hearing about them when it comes to what they're thinking about when it comes to the 2024 election?
What's crazy is I have a lot of people that are, it depends. It depends on their demographic. Depends what they've been cultured to. Depends what they've grown up to understand.
Really? How so?
Well, if you're conditioned to believe money is bad, if you're conditioned to believe that the government should give you things, then essentially you're going to believe that you're going to be handed it.
Mm-hmm.
There's people out there, though, that I know are still starting businesses. There's people we work with that are still trying to innovate, do things. And those people actually are doing well, but they're putting themselves out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not relying on somebody else to bail them out.
Yeah.
And then there's people that are your typical company employee that was very spoiled during COVID. And then things rolled back. We all knew it was going to happen. These larger companies cut all the fat off of their payroll.
Mm-hmm.
It needed to be done. When there was so much stimulus in there, these companies, and don't forget about, we were in a zero interest rate era.
Yeah. So to your point about, the stimulus checks during the COVID, I found it so interesting that there was 2 different times when we took a vacation just to get away, of course, in Florida, because Florida was the only, one of the few states that was actually, had their right mind. They didn't have all the mask mandates and people could actually still live. And I'd like to also mention that they had some of the lowest COVID numbers. But because of the stimulus checks, I could not believe the amount of people that were on vacations. And a lot of these people were families that normally would never be able to take a vacation. So that stimulus money that was circulating during that time was, they tried to make it sound like, well, we're going to help you pay your mortgage. We're going to help you if you lost your job, stay afloat. These people were out taking vacations that they probably hadn't been able to take in 10 years.
I've met more people that took advantage of the COVID money in better ways than others than people that really needed it. Because what happened, there was a very quick bounce back. During April and part of May, we were shut down, but then things started to come back online. Things came back online. Inflation was incredibly low. We had zero interest rates. So then what also happens is the second and third order effects. Extremely low interest rates, tons of stimulus, and the economy just opens up. People spend money. People take out and refinance their homes, so they have more equity now. Now they can take money, go spend it again. They can put money in the stock market. They can buy rental properties. It drives prices up. There was so much liquidity out there.
I'm super scared. I'll tell you, Tanner, if Kamala Harris, Tim Walz are in office, I am super scared. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe you'll say, oh, there's hope, Vic. There's other things. Super scared if that were to occur. What kind of advice do you have? And I know you help people when it comes to the financial planning sector of how to navigate their way through everything that's going on right now and how you can just help them for the long term.
Well, let me peel this back, because what I'm more concerned about in the Kamala Walz presidency, if this were to happen, is not the wealthy class. I think who's going to be hurt is the lower class and the middle class. And the reason I say that is because that's how you tend towards a socialist country, is when people become reliant upon government aid. And you don't have the spearheadedness to go out and generate what you can live by.
Yeah.
And then people who have wealth, I mean, think about all the members of Senate, Congress that have tons of money tied up, like we said, in the stock market, which is at record highs. Those people do not want to give up their wealth. They will not do anything to inflict harm upon themselves. But they can make American citizens very, very reliant upon the government.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we trend towards a greater wealth gap. Because right now we're letting illegals in, but we don't have legal immigration. Legal immigration was great. Elon Musk, Africa. Look at what he's done.
Exactly.
Have you guys ever seen the All In podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Chamath Palihapitiya, David Sachs, Jason Calacanis. 3 of those guys are immigrants. And would they want to come?
Where's J. Cal from?
He's from the U.S. I don't know where.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought you just said he's an immigrant.
No, the other 3 are.
Oh, I was going to say.
David Sachs is from Africa.
Yeah.
Jason Calacanis, he's from the U.S. somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. I was like, where's he from?
No, but to Vic's point, though, what can Americans do right now? At the end of the day, people have the ultimate autonomy to take control of their financial path. And most people just rely upon, okay, they've got a company 401k, they're doing what their friends do. And at the end of the day, that's a piece of it. You would not believe the amount of people I meet that do not have any estate planning. They don't have a will or trust. They may have some life insurance, but what good is your life insurance if it gets tied up in probate? It's not any good. The government's going to get a piece of it, an attorney is going to get a piece of it, and then all of your relatives are going to have a chance to go and grab whatever they want. And then we move our way up. And then you do have forms of life insurance. And then some people may be overspending on that because typically that's an industry where people can get taken advantage of in different ways. And then we move up the ladder and then we worry about, okay, do you have healthcare? Because if we don't have healthcare, that's an easy way to exhaust all your savings. And then we move back up the ladder to investments, and your investments are a huge piece because most people do not put anything away. And if they are doing it at a very religious rate. They're doing it monthly. Mm-hmm. But you would not believe the amount of Americans and people I meet that are making $200,000 to $400,000 that are not doing any type of financial planning and are living paycheck to paycheck.
So let me ask you this in regards to, like you were saying, people, if Kamala Harris gets in, or just people that are living or depending upon the government, let's use welfare, for instance. Would you say that there's a large majority of voters that are on welfare and aren't paying attention to the economy and what is going on? And maybe that is why the left continues to get the numbers that they get, because, statistics show that the left has a higher population group that is on welfare. So would you say that maybe that's part of the problem, that they're not paying attention to our economy?
Listen, as much as there's individuals on welfare, I would love to see changes enacted. Now, people talk about, okay, do we want child education? I mean, child care. Mm-hmm. There's tons of forms of aid that I think are great, but it's all the crazy stuff that we spend money on. Mm-hmm. Where give up a few things and we can do that. People should go to work. I think those that are on welfare should have to go to work. I'd rather money go towards childcare rather than welfare dollars and have the parents go to work. Yeah. That to me is what should happen. But these individuals, yes, when you're relying upon something, you have to push and promote that. Mm-hmm. Because I know people that have been on welfare that have made their way out of it. But then those people also understand there is a problem with being on welfare. But you have to have the mental shift to get out of it. Exactly. Because if you grow up on welfare, you either hate it so much that you want to get out of it, or you are just existent to it. Yep. You're embodying it. Mm-hmm. And that's who you are. That's what you know. That's what you vote. Mm-hmm. Because how long have we been talking about the lower class? It's been 30, 40, 50 years.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a psychological thing, and we need people in office and we need people that can help push to break barriers. It's not going to be comfortable.
But before we let you out here, Tanner, how can people get in contact with you, and what do you actually do with people? Because I want to get a chance to promote you, because we do appreciate you're a terrific guest and you break things down. And if you get a chance, go back and take a look at the site that we have, and people giving you compliments and asking questions. How can you help people, and exactly what you're doing for people right now?
Absolutely. So at Opulence Planning Group, we're full fiduciary financial planners, which means that we don't operate off commissions. It's fee-based. We do everything from making sure estate planning is taken care of, looking at taxes, seeing where we can save money there, and then also managing investable assets at a fee-based rate. So if anybody wants to reach out to us, you can reach out to my personal number, 314-954-5452.
Okay, we had a different number up right now.
That's also our business number.
Okay.
So that works as well. So whatever number's up for the business number.
It'll get to you then, the business number?
Yeah.
Okay, because what is your personal number? I'll put it up on the page for us right now.
Personal number is 314-954-5452. But let me pull that up. What do you have for the business number?
We have up on the screen right now, 636-800-2505.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that we were getting people on the right side. You said 314-954-5452. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so in regards to what we do, estate planning, managing taxes, seeing where we can save money there. If somebody comes in our office, I want them to be able to walk out without putting a dollar with us and finding ways that they can keep more of their income. And then the third piece is managing their investable assets. And that's all the way from a middle income family all the way up to an accredited investor that's looking for private equity or things that typical investors don't have access to. And like I said, the best way to reach us, you can reach out to me personally at 314-954-5452, or you can reach our office. That phone number is 636-800-2505. And we have a great team. We're located on Main Street, St. Charles, historic Main Street. And we love being able to provide value. And not only that, but help you win. I think a lot of times, a lot of advisors just are very slow to things and do what's around them versus being innovative and looking for ways to really help people and push the envelope.
Well, Tanner, we appreciate you joining us today, my friend. We'll keep in touch with you. Tanner Dallas, once again, with his group coming in. Reach out to him, ask for him, tell him you saw him on Cancel This as well, and he'll certainly help you. Tanner, thanks for joining us today, buddy. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
All right.
good to see you.
Tanner Dallas, I love seeing him talk the way that he is. I mean, obviously he knows what he's doing. Everybody has an opinion when it comes to finance and money, but I love the way that Tanner breaks it down and puts it in perspective, especially from an economy standpoint when it comes to politics. Because the reason I really want him in here is to explain what's happening, because you hear people, oh, Democrats, the stock market's at an all-time high. Really? Is it really at an all-time high? Is it really, are we really in a good situation from an economy standpoint? No, we're not. And we didn't even break down into the value of the dollar and us losing about 25% of the value of dollar in recent times either.
Yeah.
And multiple countries are coming after our dollar right now.
Yeah, he definitely keeps it relevant. And I think right now, all of us we're super worried about our economy and our dollars stretching. And especially, some of the older crowd, my parents, people in their age bracket, they're worried about, making their money, stretch and work, because they've been taking hit after hit after hit. And so I like when he talks about it, because he parallels it to what is going on and why we need to pay attention. It is really important right now.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things that are going on, especially when it comes to money. And we talk about what our country has done and what they'll do. Just remember, it's about money and what people are getting. A little bit off the topic, but it's about the money. Just remember, when you talk about handouts and money that's given out, the Maui families in the fire, Megan, they got $700. That's it.
It's
How about the families from FEMA? $750. Now let's talk about the subject that we've been talking about today when it comes to our government. Illegal aliens. Do you know that they get about $13,000 on EBT cards? And this is all about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Yet there are people who want to vote for them because they hate Trump. They don't care about what's best for the country and for their own pocketbooks. I hate them. $13,000 for illegals. People who are breaking the law. $13,000.
And why?
And let's not even talk about how many billions we've given to Zelensky. Okay, then you want to talk about all of the reasons why the country is in a situation with inflation. These are problems that are taking place.
And when you bring up just the Maui thing, I mean, these people's homes were completely destroyed and still no answers. No answers as to how it happened. I mean, of course, there's so many conspiracies going around, but like you said, Vic, $700. And then Kamala has the audacity to stand up and pat herself on the back and being like, but the people of North Carolina are getting $750. Wow. That's you really know how to just be generous. And then you turn around and, like you just said, you've got these people that are coming here illegally. I don't care what their situation was getting here. Of course, everybody knows I feel sorry for everyone, but I also believe in law and order. And there is no reason at all that these people should come here and get 13 times the amount of money that our own American citizens are getting, when everything that they have, everything has been completely demolished, gone. I hope maybe Brett Baier or someone just ask that question. It's such a simple, basic human question. And I would love to hear her answer it and not talk about constellations or holistic, whatever she's talking about. Just answer the flippin' question. Yep. I don't give a rip what kind of bull crap is going on in your head.
Well, Brett Baier has an opportunity to really become one of the best journalists in the country. There's an opportunity to show that he's milquetoast. I think he's milquetoast. And I hope that I'm proven wrong. But there comes a point in time, yes, you don't have to show favoritism. And you shouldn't if you're a true journalist. I never did. There were people who thought I was actually I got ripped on a daily basis for being too conservative and too liberal at the same point in time. Brett Baier's been milquetoast. He's absolutely to me. Now, let's see if he has some chops tomorrow night to ask the serious, legitimate questions. And when she tries to stall, if he interrupts and says, you're not answering the question, and doing it in a full, I don't think he's going to, but I hope I'm wrong.
Oh gosh, I hope you're wrong.
Since you brought that back up. But he has shown no tendency in his history to do an interview where he's going to actually ask the tough questions. and break it down and then follow up on that situation. So hopefully I'm wrong. It's interesting. We broadcast live out of the St. Louis, Missouri area, and it just shows you a time of how things have changed. It's 2024. I get it. Yeah, there's some nostalgia, but the Chesterfield Mall is being demolished today. And this is happening across malls and areas all across America where malls from the 80s and 90s are going bye-bye.
Yes.
But I have a lot of memories at that mall, and a lot of people have memories at places all around too. You grew up in West County. You do as well.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that was like one of the only places that we had that we were even allowed to go to spend time with our friends. I mean, our parents would drop us off and we'd go and spend a few dollars. We had just enough money for a milkshake and a small fry. And there'd be, 30 of us in there doing the exact same thing. I thought it was awesome, and, when people actually used to go shop, and not order from their phones and have it delivered at their front door. It was a great place. It had all my favorite spots. We had Benetton and Units and what else was there?
Movie theater.
Esprit. Yeah. I mean, just all of the fun stuff. So it's weird. It's really weird driving by there and seeing what is happening. And
Gary brought up Jamestown Mall, obviously in North County.
Yeah. Is that still there? Did that mall make it?
No, it did not.
No.
It's a dump now, basically. And of course, Crestwood Mall. Yeah, obviously.
The Body Shop. Yes. Oh, I loved the Body Shop. I can smell that right now. Like I can smell the smells from the Body Shop because she just said that. So crazy.
No, they were definitely good times back in the day. And people, no matter where you're listening, all across the country have dealt with that. Things move on.
Yeah.
And we find different ways. Now there's Amazon, and that's what people do.
Yes. And I swore I was never going to do that. I was like, I'll never just go on and just put my size in and expect it to be okay and be delivered.
My favorite store, Northwest Plaza, merry-go-round.
Yeah. Oh yeah, buddy. The Z Cavaricis.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, the Northwest Plaza, and Northwest Plaza is still there, but it's different now. They run. I mean, you've got a voting center there now. There's a post office, I believe, on the other side. But the building's still there. Yeah, get out and live a little bit.
Where is Northwest Plaza?
You don't leave like a 3-mile radius.
That is not true.
I know.
That is not true.
Spencer's.
Oh gosh, I loved Spencer's. They had
but Mid Rivers Mall is still plugging away. It is.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Huh.
It's because you only drive in a 3-mile radius because you're Megan.
No,
I know
I'm all over the dang
You're
place.
all over the place. You are traveling around with your kids.
Yes,
I get it.
I'm all over. But no, I don't know where is. So for real, where's Northwest Plaza?
It's off Lindbergh, right near Highway 70.
Oh,
it's off Lindbergh, right near there. You've also got right near, like as you go down St. Charles Rock Road to Lindbergh North, near Highway 70.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Yeah, it's out there. You can by check it out. It's also a big voting for St. Louis County. It's a big voting location. That's where the headquarters for St. Louis County's
oh, really?
Voting. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, nice. Is anybody voting early? Anybody?
I'm not.
Anyone? No,
I haven't.
Yeah. I know. I get a lot of people that tell me, go ahead and vote early, just vote early. And I'm like, gosh, but it's like a whole day for me. It's like a nostalgic, it's the voting day, but I think it was Tanya. She messaged me last night, and a reminder for everyone is to make sure, like, stick around a minute when you vote and make sure that everything is going to where it's supposed to go, I think is basically what she was kind of trying to say. I don't know if there's a way that they could like not put the ballot in that little thing that you put it in, but just I guess everybody just pay attention this year and make sure that your people get to the voting booths, especially if there's people that are in these areas that are in distress and maybe they don't have a car or things like that. Gosh, I wish that there was a way that we could just make sure that that everybody gets to vote this year.
And
it's really important.
Once again, check out Tanner Dallas's information from the show. Just go back a little bit with his group. Once again, if you have any financial questions, Opulence Planning Group, you see where Tanner is from a political standpoint, you see where he is from an economic standpoint. Once again, Opulence Planning Group, you can look him up online. It's OPG Advisors, opgadvisors.com, opgadvisors.com. If you have any questions, no pressure, give them a call, see what may happen. And we appreciate you guys joining in for the show today. We're going to see you Thursday. Please like, subscribe, share the show. Any donations to the show are great. We're grateful for that. You go to cancelthisshow.com. You can click donation. I mean, you can look up Cancel This on PayPal. We're on Venmo, Cash App. Just let me know if you have any questions, vic@cancelthisshow.com, or you can go to Facebook. And we're also looking for advertisers and ways that we can help people. Can also try to sell products. And of course, this next ad, as we call it, the show kind of explains who we are and what we do. And you can show that to people as well. Anything else before we get out of here today?
No,
I always like to ask.
Just to follow up on what we were just talking about voting, she said basically when you do put your ballot in, it should be, the machine should accept it the first time. And if it does not accept your ballot on the very first try, you ask for a new ballot.
There's been some
great
questions.
Advice.
No, there's been some questions with some voting irregularities in St. Louis County and St. Charles County. But if one little thing happens, I know us as conservatives, we're very, very, very hypersensitive to it because of what has happened. And another point somebody wanted me to make out, Brett Baer showed his true colors in the 2020 election night. So if you go back, look it up. Once again, we'll be talking about Brett Baer first thing Thursday morning, how the interview with Kamala went, and where we go from there. So, guys, we appreciate it. Have an awesome day. Thank you for supporting us in any way you can. And, of course, for Projo, Megan Marie Moret, I'm Vic Faust. Have a great day. This is Cancel This. Presence, partner with Cancel This Show with myself, Vic Faust, and my co-host,
Megan Marie. We're ranked in the top 10% globally.
Our show has reached over 1.68 million engaged listeners, and we continue to grow monthly.
Podcasting is one of the best ways to advertise
because it offers a highly engaged audience, SEO-targeted reach,
and the ability to build a personal connection with listeners.
Dive into the dynamic world of cancel culture, politics, all current events, and the latest news with us.
It's the American taxpayers that are having to pay for all of this monkey business left and right.
Look at all of these pictures. They are using AI to generate fake photos, and we show you them. And Joe will show, we got a video of one, we've got certain pictures.
They were hiding the fact and trying to lie to the American people for months that Joe Biden was doing well.
This is Kamala. This is Joe Biden. It's Barack Obama. It's Jake Sullivan, all together doing anything and everything they can to strike back at Donald Trump because he continues to kick their ass.
If that doesn't make you mad enough to vote one way or another in this election, nothing will do it.
Get your company's voice heard, your brand recognized,
and the exposure you deserve.
Does your brand align with our mission?
Let's talk and make an impact together.